OMG. Disney villain analysis. Lion King. So, we've all seen The Lion King, right? If you haven't, go see it. Or read Hamlet. Hamlet? Hamlet? What? It's the same thing. But as we all know, Scar is out to get Mufasa for killing King. Oh, wait, killing? Where did I get that from? Scar is out to get Mufasa for being king. Actually, we don't really know why Scar is angry at Mufasa. We really don't. We can only assume it's for being the older brother and getting to be king. But we don't know for sure. It's never fully explained. Up until about 10 o'clock last night, I'd accepted the aforementioned thought. Whoa. I don't know if I even pronounced that right. It made logical sense at 5 and logical sense at 18. Why are you it? Well, I was rewatching The Lion King last night, because what else should I do at college? Student on Friday night. Wait, what? Because what else? There should not be a comma there. There shouldn't be. It's against the laws. No commas before because. It's just because. And that's the end of my explanation. What else should a college student do on a Friday night? Oh, college students are making these things? Cool. They're interesting. Well, this very early on in the movie when my outlook on the entire movie shifted. It's that one scene where Scar is playing with that mouse. The one right after Simba's little ceremony thing that Scar blatantly missed. Zazu walks into Scar's lair and tells him how he's in big trouble with Mufasa. His brother didn't really care though. He really didn't. He's like, I don't care if you missed it. But it was very important. He should have been there. He's just disappointed. Yeah, that scene. Well, we all assume he's just talking about Simba being the future king, and it makes sense now. Clearly, I'm not refuting that fact, but here's what I'm proposing. He's not just talking about Simba. He's referencing why he wants to be king, all very subtly in this scene. When Zazu walks in on Scar and the mouse scurries off, Scar says, "You made me lose my lunch." And I'm sitting there, staring at the screen, thinking, how the blank is that lunch for a lion? So that was when I did a little research, because science is always wonderful when backing up facts, especially for Disney, which we all know is 100% scientifically accurate. I went to the University of Minnesota's website because that's where Google took me, and I found this bit of information. How much can an adult lion eat in one feeding? Female lions capture most of the mid-sized prey. Wild bees, zebra, ink. And the males typically catch the really large prey, buffalo and giraffe. A male can eat 43 kg in a day, and a female can eat over 25 kg. But their average intake is about 8 to 9 kg per day. If you were wondering, one mouse only weighs about 1 ounce, which is about 29 grams for reference. 29 grams. Kilograms is a lot more than that. Now, if you can't interpret that information, then one mouse should not be enough for a lunch. It shouldn't even be enough for a small snack. So clearly Scar is malnourished. He's about the size of a lioness. when he and Mufasa face off, it's obvious Mufasa would win every time, unless there's a stampede and a cliff involved, of course. But yes, the mouse isn't the only thing Scar tries to eat that day. He tries to eat Zazu. For those of you who didn't know, Zazu is a red-billed hornbill, which only weighs about 0.45 kg, which is less than a pound. Not very appetizing either. But you know that. Maybe Scar just likes to eat a very light lunch. Makes sense. It could work, right? Oh, and remember those few seconds right before Be Prepared, where Scar gives the hyenas the zebra leg? He must have taken down that zebra somehow, right? Where did he get that zebra leg? But if we're looking at science, we know that the females do most of the hunting of zebras. Whoa! We know that the females do most of the hunting of zebras, as the males take down the bigger prey. Look back to the information how much a lion eats to see that. Scar is clearly still a part of the pride because he was expected at Simba's ceremony. Simba talks to him all the time, and it was simply accepted that he was the next king upon Mufasa's death and Simba's disappearance. So he didn't even take down the zebra, the lionesses did. He went there and grabbed the leg and probably a little something for himself on top of it. He couldn't take a lot because the rest of the pride needed to eat, so he brought the leg back to the hyenas to eat because, despite being around by idiots, he cares about them. Aww. Scar is willingly starving himself to keep his friends alive, so he eats small amounts of food in order to tide himself over until his next meal. However small it may be because he watches out for his hyena friends. So after watching the entire Lion King twice, make sure I caught every bit of information doing all of this research, finally realized something that is so crazy and far-fetched it might possibly be true. Scar is humanitarian, animalitarian. What? He, unlike the other lions, saw the hyenas were being mistreated. They are exiled from, or maybe just not part of the Pride Lands, which is, we all know, consists of everything the light touches, so the hyenas aren't even allowed in the light. Which is awful. The hyenas are being starved out there. If any of us saw the second Lion King, we also know that the lions who were exiled by Simba were thinly and starved as well. Living outside of the Pride Lands essentially means you're either gonna starve or learn how to become king. Simba and Kovu. Scar is willing to work with the hyenas. In fact, he cares for them. Mufasa, on the other hand, sees them as the enemy. They're dangerous and tried to kill Simba twice. So Scar isn't the only trying to take over as king in the Pride Rock because he's angry at his big brother. He's doing this to bring about reform within the Pride Lands. And it works too. The hyenas and the lions do work and live together in the Pride Lands. However, as time goes on, food becomes scarce. We don't know how long this takes, though. What we know is that the herds move on. There's a good chance this happened right before Simba returned, because not a single lioness or hyena dies from starvation. They're all still there at the end of the movie. If the starving had been going on this whole time, Nala would certainly be dead. The cub just could not last that long without food. Most of the hyenas would die because of how malnourished they were to begin with. Scar never had to deal with an official shortage of food, but he had to spend most of his life without eating much. Become adjusted to it. When the hyenas come to him about the lack of food, he tells them to eat zazu. Scar never had to deal with the official shortage of food. Oh. Scar is still being an militarian. Zazu provides him music and entertainment. Scar is the king and he's hungry. He should get to eat zazu. But no, he lets his friends have one of the possible final meals to be found within the Pride Lands before resorting to cannibalism. Scar tries so hard to maintain this peace between the hyenas and lions. While staying on Pride Rock, he knows that moving the hyenas and the lions would cause traumatic experiences for both species. Young of both groups would probably not make it, and there would be a lot of death and even more starvation because exerting energy requires the intake of energy. Scar knows that the herds will come back as they do just as Simba returns. No one else can see this yet. Had Nala waited another week or so to get help from the jungle, the herds would have returned and Scar would be still king. And if we were to look at the movie this way, then there wouldn't be a shadow of doubt that Scar wasn't evil. Conclusion. In this skewed view, Scar is a good guy, a wonderful animatarian. However, I don't believe this. Scar will always be that awesome, sarcastic, beautifully evil lion we all know and love. But as we know, every villain is slime. So Scar is evil. Lime color. If you ever find yourself in a Disney movie, there he is. He's in lime color. And someone or something starts being mysteriously surrounded by lime green. Stay away from that thing. Everything lime green is evil. Evil! Just remember that. Everything lime green is evil. Every villain is a lime. Is Scar still evil? Yes, he killed Mufasa. No, he's an militarian. He's an militarian. Well, he's lime, so I don't really care. Don't care. I'm gonna share it. Share. That is awesome. I had fun reading that. Simba's getting the crud beaten out of him. It looks cool though. Okay. Two people created lion animated movies. The white lion is Kimba, and the normal lion is Simba, which most people should know about Simba. He's famous. I didn't watch Kimba till the white lion, about there's TV series and then there's that one movie. I don't know which came first, the movie or the series, but I like the movie. It is sort of sad. Humans were involved. In Simba's movie, there's no humans at all, it's just animals, and there's a lot of singing. Of course. Like I said, Disney has so much singing. And then it mostly goes on about that they saw the movie and then they got mad. He's like, you stole our ideas. And so they're like, no, we didn't. That would have been so cool if I scroll down and just no, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm telling the truth. And then it goes to Simpsons that they put the lion in the clouds. It's like, Kimba, no, I mean Simba. You must avenge my death, Kimba. I mean Simba. I haven't even watched that episode. I've never seen it. And then they go on about the similarities. And then they go how the movies are very, very similar. And then they both have a lion that's like has eye problems. And then it goes on about the real story that the Lion King was going to base off of Bambi, but without humans, with a little bit of Hamlet in there. And then they said that if they watched it, they would have been proud to have worked together and stuff. I mean, not work together, been proud that they used their material for their movie. Another similarity, but it's with a lion cub and then a female lion. And then here it's the Scar and Simba when he's older. And then they're like, yeah, peaceful. They're like handshaking. Their hairs are very different. Simba's like more realistic. And then him is like a cartoon like lion. It's like pushed in face, big giant ears, big giant eyes, eyebrows. Well, he has like eyebrows too, but still. And then he has no whiskers at all. No whiskers. And he's supposed to be a male. He sounds like a female. He has whiskers. He has a jawline. He's fat. And then he's super duper skinny. He has that weird thing on his chest. Well, he has a weird thing on his chest too, but that's normal. It's not like pointed out like that. It's like turning into a Pokemon. It's like Absol it out of there. And then there's like the tails are very similar. He has like the mouse ears from like, I don't know, is it? Oh, it's Jerry. Tom and Jerry. He has the Tom and Jerry ears. He has normal, somewhat ears. He has a little hair up above. Oh God. And then he has big giant thing of hair. It's like humanoid hair. He has eyelashes, which is weird. He has like a mouse face. And then the body's weird. And then there's something wrong with his neck. It's like scruff or something. P. And it says, quite a few staff of our company saw a preview of The Lion King, discussed this subject, and came to the conclusion that you cannot avoid having these similarities as long as you use animals as characters and try to draw images out of them. They are not similar. They're very different. I consider them not to be similar. He's like confused about the whole ordeal. It's like, what? He's like, Kimba, Walt Disney's Bambi. In addition to having more fantastical plots and anthropomorphic traits in the characteristics, the biggest contrast between the two projects is without a doubt the relationship between animals and humans, which stems from original inspiration for Kimba, Walt Disney's Bambi. In the end, it appears this case may just come down to a little thing called the circle of life. Just like every other story. It's like, you stole our story. No, it originated from here. It's like, no, we came up with it. No, we came up with it. You know, like, I forgot which stories. I think it's like the story of like a female. Oh, she did something and she was in trouble, I guess. And then other places had a similar story, and they were like, "Hey, come from here." No, it didn't. This is what's happening. This is what's happening to the movies. And their art is completely different. And then that's it. Circle of Life is inevitable. Jungle Emperor, aka Kimba. It's like, what? No, we're telling the truth. No, we're telling the truth. No, we're telling the truth. I wish she had a, like, normal voice. It's, like, so deep. It's, like, a very deep female smoker voice. I was like, oh, God. It's like, I thought it was a male. And it was like, no, it's a female. I was like, but... It's like, Simba, you're getting the credit beat out of you right now. How are things? I got a bloody nose, my lips apparently bleeding. It's like, blank you, Simba! Yeah! It's like punching him instead of clawing at him. Oh, jeez. Lions are not supposed to punch. They're supposed to, like, claw each other's eyes out and rip each other's throats. Aggression. Simba's cool, even though when he's getting beat up, he's like, "Arr." It's about, like, thieves. Oh, his movie. About thieves trying to get a jewel to get sold, and then they're trying to find it. And this one guy heard of it, and it's like, gets in the wrong hands, it'll be bad. And it's for the country. And then they're like, he went out there and got it from the mountain. And then he had the help from this lion's dad, and he attacked those bad people, and then he ended up too badly injured to go any further. And then he was like telling him to eat him and use him to keep him warm. The guy that's trying to get to the jewel before the bad guys do. And he was like, no, I can't. He's like, how can you understand a lion? It's like, I'm looking into his eyes. I was like, oh my God. And he's telling me to kill him. And he's like, gets really, really scary and big. And then he uses his shotgun and shoots him. He eats the lion, cuts it, puts it over himself, and then went up the rest of the mountain, gets the jewel, comes back down in a raft. And he puts the lion fur next to him, and then the cub comes across him. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be so sad when he finds out. Oh, and my favorite part in that movie, my favorite part in the movie, not his movie, but the White Lion's movie, is the music box in the airplane, the crashed airplane. I liked that part so much. It was like, oh, it's so cute. He's like jumping around, dancing, sort of. My favorite part in his movie, I don't think I have a favorite part in The Lion King, but I do have a favorite part in and then the 1.5, where he's like growing up and he gets way too big. in the bed, and he's like, alright, time for you to, like, get your own bed. It's like, what? It's like, fine, we'll just, like, make adjustments. And then Simba's laying on the bottom, and then Pumbaa's laying on top, and then the little pipsqueak's laying on top. It's like, oh god, that's uncomfortable. They can't even fit in their little bed anymore. He used to be so teeny, and then he was so big. It's like, oh my god. You need to, like, go back to pint size, kid.